Things you don't know about Rowan Atkinson. Hello viewers, how are you? Welcome to Revue Network. Today we will get to know some interesting facts about Rowan Atkinson, who is mostly as Mr. Bean to all of us. Be sure to subscribe to my channel for future videos. With that said, let's get back to our discussion topic. Rowan Sebastian Atkinson, born 6 January 1955, is an English actor, comedian and writer. He is best known for his work on the sitcoms Blackadder and Mr. Bean. Atkinson first came to prominence in the BBC sketch comedy show Not the 9 O'Clock News, receiving the 1981 BAFTA for Best Entertainment Performance, and via his participation in the secret Policeman's Ball. His other work includes the James Bond film Never Say Never Again, playing a bumbling vicar in 4 Weddings and a Funeral, voicing the red-billed hornbill Zazu in The Lion King, and playing jewellery salesman Rufus in Love Actually. He also features in the BBC sitcom The Thin Blue Line. His work in theatre includes the 2009 West End revival of the musical Olivier. Atkinson was listed in The Observer as one of the 50 funniest actors in British comedy in 2007 and among the top 50 comedians ever in 2005, full of below comedians. Throughout his career, he has collaborated with screenwriter Richard Curtis and composer Howard Goodall, both of whom he met at the Oxford University Dramatic Society during the 1970s. In addition to his 1981 BAFTA, he received an Olivier Award for his 1981 West End theatre performance in Rowan Atkinson in Revue. He has also had cinematic success with his performance in the Mr. Bean movie adaptations, Bean and Mr. Bean's Holiday, and also in the Johnny English film series. He also appears as the titular character in Maigret. Enough with intro. Now let's get back to the points. Number 1, he graduated from 2 universities. Atkinson is a very smart man and graduated from both Newcastle University and Oxford University. He wrote a thesis about self-turning control systems. Number 2, he went to school with Tony Blair, Rowan Atkinson, and Britain ex-Prime Minister Tony Blair were schoolmates at Durham Choristers School. The two attended Durham Choristers School at the same time. When he joined the school, Atkinson was 11 years old and Tony Blair was 2 years his senior. According to the school former headmaster Canon John Grove, the two boys were quite opposite in their behavior. While Atkinson was shy and kept to himself, Blair was very outgoing and a model of people who volunteered for everything. Number 3, Rowan Atkinson has a master's degree in electrical engineering from Queen's College, Oxford. After he received his undergraduate degree in electrical engineering, Atkinson continued studying for a Master's of Science in the same field at Queen's College, Oxford in 1975. His course of study was the same as his father, who graduated from there in 1935. He was also made an honorary fellow in 2006. Number 4. Fame found him after appearing on a BBC comedy sketch show. Not the 9 o'clock news was his big break that got his name known in the industry. Though in the beginning of his career, Atkinson appeared in several films and shows. He first rose to fame in the BBC comedy show Not the 9 O'Clock News. Not the 9 O'Clock News was a satirical sketch and show about current news stories, pop culture, comedy sketches, and also continued parody songs, re-edited videos, and spoof television formats. It made a lot of use of celebrity clips, usually of politicians, royalty, and celebrities. It was aired on BBC Two as a comic alternative to BBC 9 O'Clock News. The show also featured and helped launch the career of 3 other comedians apart from Atkinson: Pamela Stephenson, Mel Smith, and Grace Jones. Number 5. Atkinson loves cars. Really loves them. He once said that one of the best moments in his life was getting his one license to drive a lorry. He now owns an impressive collection which includes an Aston Martin, Honda, Audi, and even an MC Lauren 51. However, he doesn't like Porsches, have a problem with forces. They wonderful cars, but I know I could never live with on. Somehow, the tropical forces people, I wish them no ill are not I feel my kind of people. He participated in a racing event put on by the Aston Martin owner club. At the Coast Racing Circuit driving his Aston Martin V8 Zagato, which he crushed, but I was unhurt to consider it a collector. He started that. Not a collector. I don't like the toy cupboard syndrome that causes so many good cars to evaporate. He also started that he hates horses and that no I could ever never live with on. Number 6. He sometimes even writes for car magazines, a petrol head, and writes articles for car magazine. Speaking of vehicles, Atkinson is a self-confessed petrol head. The comedian has a real passion for motors and even writes articles for car magazines so he can share this passion with others. However, their own car makes that he will never own horses. The actor explained, have a problem with horses. They are wonderful cars, but I know I could never live with on. Somehow, the tropical horses people and I wish them no ill are not. I feel my kind of people. Number 7. Atkinson suffers from a stammer. Atkinson suffers from a stammer, so he uses over-articulation, a technique to overcome problematic consonant for the sound. Atkinson turned his stutter problem into a comic device because he over-articulates the sound of as he did when pronouncing the name in the episode of Bells in Blackadder. He had reportedly experienced trouble because of this problem while at school having conversation with his friends. This fatigued and stressed him out. He overcame his stutter as he started acting and started that comes and goes. I find when I play a character other than myself, the stammering disappears. That may have been some of the inspiration for pursuing the career I did. Number 8. Rowan Atkinson co-created Mr. Bean. Rowan Atkinson co-created and co-wrote Mr. Bean, the British sitcom for which he is so famous, while studying for his master's. While in Oxford, Atkinson was asked during his first term to do a sketch that someone might show at the Oxford Playhouse. However, he did not consider himself a writer, having never written anything before. He had also 48 hours to create sometimes. Something and inspiration struck him in the form of a strange, serial and non-speaking character. As he stood in front of his mirror pulling faces. While at Oxford, he also met his co-writer Richard Curtis and composer Howard Goodall, with whom he would collaborate many times throughout his career. He also received national attention in 1976 for his sketches in the Oxford Revue, a comedy group featuring Oxford students at the Edinburgh Festival Fringe, now considered the world's largest arts festival. Number 9. He met his wife on the sets of Blackadder. Atkinson met his ex-wife Sunetra Setri on the set of Blackadder, where she worked as a makeup artist, and his two children with her, Bean and Lily. Sunetra Sastry was a step-free makeup artist on the set of Blackadder in 1986. According to Fry, Atkinson on they asked him to swap makeup artist. When Fry asked if he didn't like his own makeup artist, Atkinson replied, "No, not that." She explained it in February 1990. Atkinson and Sastry married with Stephen Fry as the best man. Together, they had two children, Bean and Lily, and were divorced in 2015 after 25 years of marriage. Number 10. Mr. Bean could have been named after another vegetable. The original name for Mr. Bean was Mr. White. It was then changed to cauliflower before settling on Mr. Beans. Mr. Bean's name was not decided upon until after the production of the first program. Before adopting the name Mr. Bean, several other vegetables-based names were considered, but in the end, Mr. Bean was chosen. According to Atkinson, his character was inspired by a character named Mansur Lota, who was created by a French comedian and director Jacques Tati. Just like in the old silent film, the series completely depends on physical comedy, making it easier to understand for people who don't speak English. Number 11, Mr. Bean series has only 14 episodes despite being such a popular and much loved comedy show. The Mr. Bean series has only 14 episodes, each being only 25 minutes long. All the episodes of Mr. Bean were aired over a span of 6 years between January 1, 1990 to November 15, 1995 apart from the 14 episodes. The series also had a bonus episode aired on December 15, 1995 called The Best Bits of Mr. Bean. It was a compilation episode in which Mr. Bean goes to his loft on a rainy day and reminisces his old adventures from previous episodes. Number 12, Atkinson holds a lorry driving license. Atkinson holds a category primary Class 1 lorry driving license which he obtained in 1981 because of his fascination with lorries. Apart from getting his license to drive a lorry, Atkinson also used his love for trucks in a very humorous song called Like Trucking in his show, Not the 9 O'Clock News. The song depicts him and his friends in hysterically singing the song while keeping score of the number of he crushed under the tires while driving and a car driver who gets trapped by their antics. Number 13, Mr. Bean in James Bond. Atkinson also played a supporting character in Sean Connery James Bond movie Never Say Never Again back in 1983. Atkinson played a character called Nigel Smell, a foreign office representative in the Bahamas. When James Bond reaches the Bahamas looking for the villain Maximilian Largo, played by Chloe Maria Browder, small Cupid informs him that Largo was heading for Nice, France. Number 14. He earned success in French comedy too. During his earlier appearances as Mr. Bean, Atkinson insisted on performing on a French-speaking program instead of English-speaking ones to see how his physical comedy would fare on international stage. The show, of course, became a huge success. In 245 terrorists and received a number of international awards. In 1987, one of Mr. Bean's earliest performances was held at the Just for Laughs Comedy Festival in Montreal, Canada. While there, Atkinson insisted on being scholars to perform to a French-speaking audience rather than English-speaking ones. The festival coordinators could not understand why Atkinson instead was the test his physical comedy to see how well it would work on non-English speaking audiences. The series received a number of international awards, including the Rose d'Or and even inspired an animated spin-off. Number 15. Atkinson once saved a plane from crashing. Atkinson once saved a plane from crashing when the pilot fainted even through He never flew a plane before he managed to keep the plane in the air until the pilot recovered. In March 2001, Atkinson, his wife Sunethra, and their children Ben and Lily were traveling from the airstrip in UK onto Canavia to Narvia Wilson Airport when the incident occurred. The pilot of the Cessna 202 aircraft fainted at the controls and the family could not revive him, so Atkinson was forced to take control of the plane and was able to keep it flying, saving himself and his family until the pilot recovered. Later, the pilot was then able to make a safe landing at the airport. Number 16. Atkinson is critical about his realism. In 2005, Atkinson led a group of prominent actors and writers, including Stephen Fry and Len MC1, Maigret, opposing the racing and religious hatred bill, arguing it could give overwhelming power to undermine freedom of speech. Atkinson is critical when it comes to realism and always sought to stand up against laws that could restrict freedom of expression, apart from opposing the controversial racing and religious hatred bill. He also supported freedom of speech for homosexuals and voiced his support for the Reform Section 5 campaign, which aims to perform or repeal laws that state an insult can be grounds for arrest. Number 17. He has a record in Top Gear show. Top Gear is a British motoring magazine factual television series conceived by Johnny Clarkson and Andy Willman, launched on 20 October 2002 and broadcast in the United Kingdom on BBC Two. The program is a relaunched version of the original 1977 show of the same name, which looked at the virtuous motor vehicles primary cars, while the original format focused mainly on a review of cars. The 2002 version expanded on this with motoring-based challenges, special races, times, lamps of notable cars, and the celebrity limit lamp on a course specially designed for the relaunched program, with its format developing over time to focus on a more quirky, humorous, and sometimes controversial style of presentation. In July 2011, Atkinson appeared as in a responsible priced car on Top Gear 2. He was nervous at first. He leaderboard driving a Kia Kent and rounded the track in just 1:52.2. The next year, in February, has recorded was beaten by Matt LeBlanc, who later became the host of the show by a difference of 0.1 seconds. Number 18. He crashed his car twice and climbed 91000 euro. Atkinson crashed his Maigret for 91000 euro insurance for its repair, which is the highest ever recorded in Britain. Atkinson bought his Amsterdam F1 in 1997 for around $450,000 after crashing the car into a hedge in Oxfordshire in 2011. He claimed 91000 insurance for it, unlike cars that have seen much use and damage. Atkinson McLaren F1 had seen a continued increase in its price after he put it up for sale for $8 million. According to specialist car dealer company Taylor and Crowley, the car was sold for an undisclosed amount to a British buyer who will drive it like Rowan did. Number 19. He was awarded the CBE Commander of the Order of the British Empire in the 2013 Winners' Birthday Honours list for his services to drama and charity. Has a Johnny English Atkinson already had several encounters with the fictional version of Queen Elizabeth, always by accident, even hitting her with a tray while fighting with a ninja pretending to be the queen. Well, meeting the real queen in real life, he chose much less eventful circumstances as he left after his ceremony without talking to the press. His friend and co-star from Blackadder, Tony Robinson, also received a knighthood for his public and political services during the ceremony. Number 20. His net worth in $130 million during his prolific acting career. Atkinson earned a significant amount of money. His current net worth is about $85 million, approximately $130 million. Atkinson's net worth proves how successful an actor he is, considering he doesn't have a very long list of filmography. Mr. Bean and Johnny English are his highest earning works, with a total gross income of $618 million at the box office. In the recent years, he received $60 million from his company, Handmake. He also received more income in the form of his McLaren F1 sale at a market value of $12 million. He also owns several properties in London and other countries. Number 21. He celebrated the 25th anniversary of Mr. Bean by riding his iconic minicar. In 2013, he celebrated the 25th anniversary Mr. Bean by riding his iconic mini around Buckingham Palace in London. The 25th anniversary sketch is similar to one of his previous episodes, called "Do It Yourself, Mr. Bean," in a similar fashion as he did in that episode. Atkinson, 60 years old by then, went to enjoy the sights around the Buckingham Palace as Mr. Bean on his iconic car, a 1976 British Leyland Mini 1000. All of Mr. Bean's possessions were packed into the car and his chair tied to the roof. He was accompanied by his favorite Priscilla, Teddy, and Post, with a celebratory cake for the fans who had gathered around. Number 22. Director Richest Curtis developed Mr. Bean with Rowan Atkinson. Actually, director Richest Curtis developed Mr. Bean with Rowan Atkinson. Atkinson's creative partner at the time and the man who helped develop the character of Mr. Bean was writer, director, producer Richard Curtis. The two collaborated on Not the 9 O'Clock News and Blackadder. Before Mr. Bean even hit the airwaves, Curtis would later make the jump to the big screen as the writer of Wedding and a Funeral, Notting Hill, and Bridget Jonas, Jerry, and the writer, director of Love Actually, the both the That Rocked and About Time with explained Atkinson cameo in Love Actually. Number 23. Rowan Atkinson was inspired by Jacques Tati. Over the years, Atkinson has repeatedly cited French comedian Jacques Tati as one of the great influences on Mr. Bean. Interest in physical comedy was from discovering a film by Jacques Tati called Mr. Haluta's Holidays. Atkinson says in the story of Bean, "Just struck a chord with me. I so admired it because it was an uncompromising comic attitude and saving that I really admired." Number 24. Mr. Bean is the man who likes toilets. Mr. Bean doesn't speak often, but when he does, the voice he uses is the same Atkinson used to voice the man who liked cholesterol scratch on Not the 9 O'Clock News. Number 25. Rowan Atkinson thinks Mr. Bean is an richest Atkinson after refers to the character of Mr. Bean as a child in a grown man of body, and in a 2003 interview with IGN, he called him sort of such a natural and trust, but at the same time Mr. Bean is a very self-contained character because he is so short of introspective and so selfish and self-centered that there's no particular need to have another person in the scheme to make him funny. Number 26. Rowan Atkinson really can fill his ears. Mr. Bean's legendary ear wingle is on trail. Trait Atkinson has in common with his on-screen alter ego. While promoting Mr. Bean's holiday, ABC David Stratton asked the most curricular question of the entry interview: "Can you really wingle your ears?" To which Atkinson simply replied, "Yes, I can." Number 27. Mr. Bean performed at the Olympics when London hosted the Summer Olympics in 2012. Mr. Bean was on hand for the opening ceremony where he ushered in the games with a rendition of Chariots of Fire. Number 28. Rowan Atkinson retired the role in late 2012 in an interview with the Telegraph in November of 12. Atkinson admitted that Mr. Bean's time was coming to an end. The stuff that has been most commercially successful for basically quite physical, quite children's. Increasingly feel going to do a lot less, Atkinson said, apart from the fact that your physical ability starts to decline. I also think someone in their 50s being childlike becomes a little sad. You have got to be careful. Number 29. Mr. Bean Creators could not have predicted its success. When asked about Mr. Bean's enduring appeal during a BBC World Service radio interview earlier this year, executive producer Peter Bennett Jones said, "Do not think anyone would have anticipated quite his successful and long-lived in the would be coming up to 25 years is an extraordinary thought since we first went on air on January 1990. Mr. Bean's been very good to us all, so we love Mr. Bean." Number 30. He was one of the guests at Prime William and Kate Middleton wedding. Rowan Atkinson was invited in the wedding of Prince William and Kate Middleton back in April 2011. He is good friends with Prince Charles and Camilla. Atkinson definitely has some friends in high places. He actually one of the few celebrity guests who were invited to attend the wedding of Prince Charles and Camilla Parker, no less. Atkinson has also done a lot of charitable work for the Prince's Trust, which might help explain the connection. Number 31. He was one of the only 3 actors to appear in every series of Blackadder. Rowan Atkinson was actually one of the only 3 actors who appeared in all 4 series of Blackadder, the others being Tommy Robinson and Prime MC Landry. Number 32. He used to have own Aston Martin in Johnny English. In Johnny English, Rowan Atkinson used to have own Aston Martin DB7 Vantage in the field, a powerful and expensive car. Number 33. He wasn't a fan of the first Blackadder series. Atkinson was not a fan of the first Blackadder series and nearly proved to have any future series cancelled. Thank goodness he didn't. The show went on to become one of Britain's best-loved sitcoms. Number 34. He was the voice of one of the key characters in The Lion King. He played Zazu, the smart-mouthed lead-built hornbill, and you guessed if right, he is the only singing. Just cannot wait to begin. Number 35. So, what led the Rowan Bean cast as Mr. Bean? It all began when he was getting his master's degree at Oxford University. He was invited to do a comedy sketch at the Playhouse, and the idea for the character appeared in his head when he was fooling around in front of the mirror with strange facial expressions in his own words. Strange, surreal, sort of non-speaking character evolved. Number 36. His daughter is also an actress. Rowan's daughter Lily had a part in the movie Mr. Bean's Holiday. Number 37. He was really quiet on his first date. Apparently, he was really quiet on his first date with his ex-wife. The only thing he said was pass the ketchup when they went out to dinner. Number 38. He is the funniest actor of all time. He has been listed in the Observer for the top 50 funniest British actors. Number 39. Atkinson doesn't really know that What his face looks like? I have hardly ever looked at my face. I hope it's doing what I think it's doing, says the Mr. Bean actor. He just kind of puts his faith in what he's doing and hopes for the best. When he hears the laughter, he knows it's working. Number 40. His divorce cost him $1 million. He fought neighbors and planners for a decade to build this 10 million ultra-modern home in the Cotswolds. Now it appears Rowan Atkinson has given up the controversial property to his ex-wife after leaving her for a younger woman. The main Mr. Bean star is believed to have fortified the Oxfordshire mansion as part of a divorce settlement with former BBC makeup artist Sunetha Shastri, 55. Meanwhile, Atkinson, 63, is living with his new love, 34-year-old actress Louise Ford, and their new baby in his $5 million property in Hampstead, North London. The modernist Cotswolds estate filled with heated gadgets comes with an underground garage for the Blackadder star fleet of supercars. Although locals dubbed it a speed-age petrol station, it has won a top architecture award. Friends said they were in a surprise. Atkinson was willing to give it up his life work when he ended his 24 years marriage to Miss Sastry in 2016. Thanks for watching. If you like the video, please subscribe to my channel. Hit the like button below and please don't forget to share this video with your friends.